Hey everyone, today's going to be a bit of a different one. We are in a side project of mine where I am exploring what the world looks like when we reveal everything by audio. You can already see we're doing this in a few different places. You know, there's some music playing over here and some NPC footsteps that kind of look like clouds. And there are some birds in the distance. Oh, there's a crow over there. And then a car going past. There are a couple of different spheres that are happening here, right? There are the 2D ones on the ground. For example, the music, my microphone input data, and also my own footsteps if I stop talking for a second. Let me see, you know, those behind my character. And then we have the 3D ones, right? These are the ones on the birds. I'll just go away from the music so it's a bit quieter here. These are the masks on the birds are the 3D ones, and the masks on the NPC footsteps are the 3D ones. And the way you can tell that is that they face the camera, right? The one on the floor is aligned with the surface normal, which is probably even more clear. I think if there's a wall over here I can show this on. Oh, there we go. You see that my voice is projecting onto the wall here. The wall's surface normal. And the footsteps of the NPCs are kind of facing my character, and they reveal a bit of the sky and, you know, the geometry and whatnot. The 2D masks do reveal things in it, like the lamppost you can see as the car passes by. And this is just done by passing in a vector, which is the location of the mask, as well as the diameter, right? You can see in the top left my voice peak, global, and that is being passed into this sphere around my feet. And I'll include a link in the description to how you can achieve that. Audio Kinetic has a page on getting microphone data. But no, we're just going to have a little walk around here. As I approach this music here, you'll notice that the spheres can overlap on the ground. So my 2D spheres, because all of the masks combined in the end, you know, in the process result, they can kind of overlap on the edge here. And of course, this is just taking the same approach as I do with my microphone, just with the music peak. It's pretty cool. The car does have a slight one. It kind of goes out and in a bit, but the car's engine is quite constant, so it isn't as dramatic as something like my voice or the music. And of course, as I mentioned, we have the NPC footsteps. You'll notice that if I walk near an NPC, they are revealed within my voice circle. And the same goes for anything inside the sphere, really. And I can give you a quick look at everything behind the hood. We have this post-processor volume, which is enabled, and this is infinite, so it's a global post-process effect. And the material is this sphere material combined. If we open this up, see it's up here. Just a heads up, there are probably better ways to do this. I'm not a technical artist, right? I'm an audio programmer. So please don't attack me in the comments here. But no, we have all these parameters that I'm passing in. There are a dedicated number of them. It can be up to 29 of each 2D and 3D masks, and these are eventually all combined up into one spot, and then we lerp between them with the scene color and cut away from that post process. As for the animation of the 2D and 3D masks, we have the 2D masks on a timeline here. And this timeline is kind of like an ease out one, where it kind of comes in with the footsteps. If I show you again, actually find where I am in the level. You notice that for example, my footsteps, right? They'll come in quite dramatically, and then they'll fade out over time. And the same goes for the NPC footstep ones. Right. So we go back onto the 2D graph here. So this is just updating and then mapping that range to the max radius. from 0 to the max radius, and then setting the scalar parameter value, and then when we're finished, we can just set that back to 0. We also need to just free this mask key, because how I've got it set up at the minute is we have this manager, and each of the keys, so extent these are correlating to the material parameters. Each of these keys needs to get a lock on them so that nothing else can steal the material parameter, and then two things are trying to change the same sphere at once at two different locations, right? So you notice that I have a few locked already. This is these 3D ones that are locked are for the birds. We have 7 birds in the level, and they lock out those 7 slots because they're constantly active, because those are looping sounds. If I open up the birds, you'll see that well, this is just an optimization here. So the birds won't have their sphere if the player is looking away from them. But anyway, you'll notice on tick, we're just setting this vector parameter for the location of its 3D lock, so from 1 to 7. And then we get the parameter value and interpolate to the new value, which is the RTPC value of the playing ID on the AK component. This is mapped to just an arbitrary magic number here, 3k. It should already be a constant. I did multiply to try and make the difference in the peaks a bit bigger, but it didn't really make much of a difference in retrospect. And then, yeah, no, we interpolate it to make it a bit smoother. I think in this situation, I didn't actually interpolate for the birds. Yeah, this is not hooked up. But for the character, on the footsteps, this is the voice input. That's not what I'm looking at. On the footsteps, yeah, we know we just spawn one of those 2D masks from earlier. And on the voice, we have that mask, which is constantly locked out. I think we are locking out, if I go on to the sim manager and look at 2D, number 0 is dedicated to the player's voice. So yeah, C0 and R0 for the center 0 and the radius 0. That is just done when we're updating voice input, which is called on tick. Again, we are interpolating, and this is actually hooked up, the interpolation. If not, it would be a bit, that expanding and contracting would be quite harsh, right? And then we have the birds, again, doing a very similar thing. Just setting the vector to the bird's location, and the RTPC value is just set to, sorry, the scalar parameter is set to the RTPC value, mapped to the range of 0 to 3000. Again, just an arbitrary number, just to get that very big circle in the sky, so that it reveals the trees, as you just saw there. Yeah. And then, you know, the logic for these are very simple. They're just bird here. These are actually, it's probably going to be easier if we post-process volume and hide this and go back to lit mode. There we go. That's very pretty. So yeah, where were we at? We're looking at the birds, right? Let me know what you think of this style of video, because usually our videos are quite, my videos are quite scripted when I'm doing tutorials. This is very informal, and of course I've had to do it live because of my microphone input data. But yeah, these are just NPCs on the ground. I kind of cheated a bit. You might be able to see if I press G to show the capsules. So yeah, no, these birds are like up in the sky here with the AK component attached, and that's where the sphere happens, in the sky. But in reality, they're not actually flying. They are they're just walking around on this nav mesh down here, and the mesh is just up in the sky, right? Kind of cheaty, but you know, we have 7 of those just spread out across the width of this this park next to the city. There are only three NPCs over here. And there's also a base level ambience. You might have noticed we have this ambience on here, spatial audio volume, that has no transmission, so it's just for that spatial audio within this area coming from this general direction of the city. We have the city ambience. And then, of course, we have a few ambient emitters in the forest. These also should have been done in the same way as this spatial audio volume, but it's fine like this. But yeah, I think that's everything. Not a very long one today. Let me know what you think of this this little side project of mine. And yeah, hope you enjoyed.